Hi, Weather Joey here with your bottom of the South Island weather recap and weather forecast for, let's see, it's actually Sunday, January 26, 2025. I was meaning to do a forecast yesterday, so it's all kind of, anyway, consider it yesterday, but with updated information from today. Before we get started, actually, I thought I'd have a nice cool lager to go along on a Sunday evening before we get started. First of all, I just want to remind you this forecast goes out to my friends, the plants, animals, minerals, spirits, and beings out there that I love and share this place with each and every day. And to those of you in the future, hope you're doing well out there. It's nice to be talking to you. I'll sit down and kind of concentrate and see if I can hear you talking to me. We'll see how that goes. And also, before we get started, I'd like to, as always, take this opportunity to thank and acknowledge the first peoples of this land, the people and their ancestors who have been here for time immemorial, for allowing us to live, work, and play and learn on their beautiful traditional territories. What a wonderful time out there right now. We're seeing the stars and the planets looking down on us. We have Venus in the southwest sky looking down on us. Jupiter a little higher in the sky. Mars is up there too. Those are the three main visible ones, all coming into alignment under these beautiful, clear winter skies. And we'll get into what's bringing that along in a second. And give you a forecast for the future because something's coming down the road. I think I better mention it because you guys may be prepared for it on some other wavelength I'm not sure about, but I'll give you my little take on it. So, looking back after the last forecast, yes, the dominant player has been high pressure over the U.S. West Coast and just offshore, kind of onshore, keeping everything really dry down here. Up in our region, well, this has been stretching up here and keeping us dry since, I think, January 10th. So we're into day 16 of dry weather. It looks like that's going to continue on. But what we were talking about last forecast is, along with this high pressure here, every once in a while, we're getting high pressure building in here, joining along. So it's not the coldest of high pressures. Usually if these build in, we get some cold air up in the Arctic here that really starts to come around and down and in. We'll be looking into that a little bit. But this past week, so this has been moving onshore, keeping us dry and clear under kind of a northerly flow. Every once in a while it kind of fades off, goes down a little bit, comes down here, and it allows a bit of cloud moving in. That's what we saw this week. Nothing in the way of moisture, something in the way of cloud if you look back over the records. And as we got into, let's see, Friday was the 24th, if today's the 26th, this ridge rebuilt nicely, and that's what we're finding ourselves under right now, is this ridge, light northerly flow, beautiful clear skies, frosty mornings, you're feeling it out there, temperatures in the cool spell, not cold snap. Cool spell is overnight temperatures between 0 and -5. Cold snap is anything lower than -5. Deep freeze is anything lower than -10. So this pattern should hold in through early this week with nice clear frosty mornings and clear days. Temperatures around 5 or 6, 7 degrees maybe during the day. But slowly this week, this is going to drop away this high pressure again from here. And we'll start to see, we should stay clear for right through for the next 4 days. And that takes us through Thursday in our sort of language. But for you guys, there'll be 4 turns of the sun around. And then what happens from there is we see something start coming in off the Pacific. A system coming in off the Pacific. Moisture from this direction. Now, by 5 days from now, we should see that bringing some rain precipitation to the south coast. So that's the end of our month, what we call it. But that would be a long stretch, almost 3 weeks of dry weather that you guys have had out there. Now, it gets interesting because at the same time, we're seeing low pressure come and drop in from down here. And this kind of has to do with some circulation over here. The low pressure dropping in from down here. and meeting this moisture. Now this is really cold air coming off the continent down here. So this low pressure looks like it's going to gather around here over next weekend, say maybe 6 or 7 sun cycles away. Gather over here, and this may bring the first snowstorm of our season. And for some reason, we're having snow every year here on the South Coast. Year in, year out, my nephews are enjoying snowstorms and sledding, whereas when I grew up, there was really not a lot. We were begging for snow, but now every year, we'll see what happens here. This is very interesting, though. This is the recipe for snow, particularly on the South Island. So this comes down, and then after that, one of the models, or both models in a sense now, are kind of starting to agree, but this is still a long ways away, a week away, that after this low starts to come through and move down here, we're going to get cold continental air and maybe as much as deep freeze temperatures, dipping down to -10 in areas around the South Coast. Strong Arctic outflows, the first of the season. So when winter is by no means over, it is in fact just arriving, it looks like, for 6 or 7 days from now. So keep that in mind. Enjoy the weather, buckle up, it's going to get cold. Don't get too growth enthusiastic right now. Birds, I heard them singing today, spent some time in the sun. The other quick thing I want to mention is over this past weekend, we're thinking of you down south in Southern California, in this area down here, subtropics, is that as this high pressure was setting up this week, we did have a little back eddy down here, and it looks like they got some cooler air circulating in and some precipitation down there for the devastating fires and the dry conditions. First precipitation in months, I've heard, but blessings down there. So I hope that that helped you out down there. Anyway, I think that's all. That's all I can think of. I did that whole thing without a sip of beer. Nice. Hope that helps out. I'm thinking of you guys in the future. Thinking of you guys out here and now, right now. And my love goes out. And as always, my friends, may the forecast be with you.